Hi everyone, my name is Anton Pelcher. I'm an engineer and I've been building fish farms for over 10 years. Today I will tell you all about marketing of fish farmed in RAS. What are the ways to sell fish? Why is this, in my opinion, the most important question? Because you can build a fish farm. Anyone can do that having certain time and money. But setting up sales and marketing is much more important in order for your business to be successful. Make sure you watch this video to the end, because you will learn not only about sales options and channels, but also about top marketing tricks, including online sales, which will help you to promote your product. First of all, let's define the types of products. And there are two main types. The first is live fish, which is an agricultural product. And the second is processed fish, which is already a food product. What is the fundamental difference between them? Primarily, the strictness of the state authorities' control. If you grow live fish, as I have already mentioned, it's an agricultural product, and thus it's controlled by the veterinarians only. But if you start smoking fish, processing it somehow, including deep processing, then your final product automatically falls under the requirements of federal executive authorities responsible for control and supervision of sanitary and epidemiological well-being, and therefore you have to obtain additional permits and licenses in order to be engaged in such activities. So if you are just starting up, my personal recommendation is, when setting up live fish production, also think about processing, but outsource it. Sure, it will be more expensive at the beginning, but you will be able to test the processing technology and understand what you will need in the future to equip your own processing facility. Next, you need to decide whether you want to sell wholesale or retail. There is no single solution, but in general my recommendations are that if you grow up to 10 tons of grow-out fish, sell to retail customers. Because it's not that difficult, the amount of fish is small and thus you can earn extra margin. If you farm from 10 to 50 tons, it's probably better to mix wholesale and retail sales, and it's the right thing to do. And if the capacity of your farm is over 50 tons of grow-out fish per year, proceed with wholesale channels and don't bother. The next thing you will need to decide on is the format of delivering your fish, whether you will deliver it to customers or they will pick up their orders from the farm. If it's the self-delivery option, everything is more or less clear. You don't need anything special if you only sell live fish and your customers pick it up from the farm. But if you start delivering live fish, you automatically need to provide for a vehicle equipped with a live fish container. This can basically be any plastic container with a lid and a compressor connected to a cigarette lighter. So you will use this vehicle to deliver your live fish to the customers. And if you're going to sell chilled, gutted fish, then you will surely need refrigerators. You will need to store this chilled fish at your farm at least for some time before delivering it to the customers. Especially in summer, when it's hot, there will be no other way than to deliver it in a refrigerator. This can be either a car equipped with a special air conditioning, or isothermal containers and special refrigerator bags if you have relatively small volumes and you don't have money to purchase special equipment. And here we come to the most interesting part of the video. Let's talk about who and how will be willing to pay money for your fish. And the first is wholesale. Generally speaking, selling wholesale is, so to say, cold work. What is cold work? You, or a specially hired person, sits down and starts calling restaurants, fish processors, wholesalers and so on, meaning any wholesale buyers who are potentially interested in purchasing your products, using preliminarily prepared phone database. Then you should take care of samples, participate in meetings, negotiations, prepare contracts, agreements, everything that is related to selling wholesale. And what kind of companies would they be? The first category is restaurants. Restaurants are generally interested in portioned products. For example, small sterlet, plate-sized trout, African catfish, Philippine and nagi sauce. So, what are the tricks? If you come in with any new product that isn't yet on the menu, the person you should target with your offer is the chief. Until you resolve all the issues related to introducing new meals to the menu with him, negotiations with the restaurant won't get further. The second category is fish processors. Fish processors are usually interested in ordering large trout of at least 2 kilograms, and preferably more than 3 kilograms, and they process it into lightly salted fillets and steaks. Sturgeon, also the bigger, the better. They mainly smoke it and deliver to various shops and markets, mostly on holidays. As for African catfish, it's important to understand that as a rule, it's not widely known and not accepted by processors at all. Why not? They simply don't have marketing channels for this product. Therefore, it's likely that if you offer African catfish to fish processors, they will refuse you because they don't have established sales channels for these fish. And an important nuance: processors take in bulk. They order a lot, but the price of fish fluctuates throughout the year. For example, if you come to the processors in December and offer trout, they're likely to tell you that they will buy that fish from you at the lowest rate. And prices for fish are like an auction. There are quotations throughout the year. But if you go to the processors during the so-called off-season, which you can surely do if you farm your fish in RAS, you can sell it for maximum price and bargain for the best supply conditions. The third category is public institutions. For example, we're now at an African catfish farm. It has very peculiar meat. It's inexpensive on the one hand and hypoallergenic on the other. In principle, it can even be eaten by children and pregnant women. So there is a trick that has not been widely used. The catfish can be supplied to schools, kindergartens, the correctional facilities of the Ministry of Defense, and in principle to all state institutions that have their own canteens and need supplies of good quality raw materials. What will they make of it? Most likely they will process it into cutlets, sausages, semi-finished products, or just fried fillets. In other words, a standard canteen menu, where African catfish will be cooked in place of some walleye pollock, for example. The fourth category is stores and retail chains. I presume you often visit stores and retail chains, especially the federal ones, and there you can see designated areas where the fish is laid out on ice. These are the very areas where your fish could potentially be supplied in chilled form. And if you can supply it vacuum-packed, your reach of these chains is even wider. Because not every store has a chilled fish zone and a special counter. But it's important to understand, if you farm 10 tons of grow-out fish per year, you are unlikely to agree on the supplies to retail chains, because apart from low price, which can only be achieved when the supply volume is high, they have a separate requirement for minimum delivery volume. That's why I recommend approaching any retail chains if you farm at least 50 tons of grow-out fish per year, and even more, at least 100 tons, if you intend to supply your fish to the federal chains. And there is a nuance. If you want to supply live fish to retail chains, you will most likely need to provide aquariums to each shop where it will be sold. Well, that's basically how all these chains work. And if you want to supply chilled fish, you will only be able to supply those shops which are equipped with a special counter where the fish is laid on ice, and there are not many of them. Well, another option is processing with vacuum packaging. If you supply vacuumed products, you can supply them practically to any store. This dramatically increases your reach in terms of shops, markets, and retail chains. But you have to think about having your own processing line, or an outsourced contractor who can do the fish processing services for you. And in addition to that, you should definitely think about marketing and promotion, because vacuum-packed products will certainly need smarter and more sophisticated promotion than chilled fish. And now we have come to the second part, which is retail. And retail is most relevant for you if the capacity of your farm is relatively low, and in this case, it's a more profitable sales channel than wholesale. What retail channels do we recommend? Probably the first one is online sales. Contextual advertising, targeting in social networks, ads. By the way, if you are interested in our experience, how we did it, see the link to the landing page in the description under this video. Because in 2 days of just experimenting, we attracted applications for $1,500 to our client, having spent only $150 on that. Just a couple of words how we did it. We paid $55 to design and launch a small web page, which you can see in the description, indicating live fish from our own Aquafarm with free delivery around Moscow. And we got a lot of requests from contextual advertising and social networks targeting. And another important point, a lot of people think of placing ads on certain online platforms and sites used to publish various advertisements. We tried it and it didn't work because our advertisements were moderated and blocked. This is most likely due to the fact that these are products, including food products, which fall under certain requirements and regulations. By the way, if you are interested in a more comprehensive brochure on fish marketing, leave your contacts in the comments below this video and we'll send it to you personally. The second retail sales channel is fairs and markets. By the way, if you have been to such fairs, be sure to press the like button. Fairs and markets have some disadvantages. You have to prepare in advance, you have to make arrangements, you have to pay rent, you have to come and spend a whole day there. But the advantages often outweigh the drawbacks. Because weekend fairs especially, and markets too, are attended by customers who are looking not for low price, but for the quality of products, so there is a flow of the mass-targeted customers. And you can sell as much in one day as you sell in retail in a month, for example. Selling from car. I think everyone has seen a big live fish car or container which stops at a certain preliminarily chosen location, a small live fish banner is put up and a salesman stands there and just sells the fish from the car. It's a good sales option. The most important thing here is to choose the right place with good traffic and to get the approval for selling at this location with who you need to agree on that in order to avoid any possible problems. Next is location near the highway. If you have a possibility to build your small farm next to a busy highway with a lot of traffic, I have had a number of cases where just a simple live fish banner with an arrow indicating to the exit from the highway provided for a queue of retail customers at the entrance to the fish farm, because it's important for many customers to buy fish directly from the farmer, being assured of direct prices and product quality. And also, to develop this theme, some farmers even set up their own branded shops. Yes, there is a need for a building, utility lines, and also to install equipment, pay salaries. But the advantages and profits from these retail shops can far outweigh all the potential problems and costs. In this video, I have talked in detail about all major fish sales channels. If I have forgotten anything, please write in the comments. It was Anton Pelcher. Press the like button and subscribe to my channel. The channel on how to grow fish and make good money from it.